What's up, guys? Jason Reyna here with another edition of What's in My Camera Bag. This edition is actually be about Mike Torres and what's in his camera bag. If you guys don't already know, Mike Torres is a great cameraman. He just released Nights and Weekends, showcasing a lot of the New York skate talent. If you haven't already checked it out, you should. It's on Selfie, the link's below. And please donate to it. It's just a really superb piece of work. He did it for free. It's a donate as you wish kind of a video. Super awesome, really great skating, showcases the scene really well, and this is it. I mean, please enjoy.
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Mike Torres, and I'm sitting here in Young and Grumpy Studios in Bushwick, New York, and we're reporting for Reyna Media, doing a blog going over what's in my camera bag, and I'm just going to show you guys a couple things that I used to film my newest video, Nights and Weekends. I guess the overarching everything that I should explain is that this whole video was shot in New York City, and as a result, for the last few years of living here, like the way I film and what I use to film I've really called it down quite a bit. The big thing is, like, can it fit into a backpack in some capacity? So that's kind of like how I've like designed like all of the gear that I carry now. First things first is this is like Old Faithful here. I use an HPX 170 to film all my skating. Got a nice little fuzzy bit dead cat thingy on the microphone just because we film a lot of lines. I also use a kind of a cheap shitty Opteka fisheye, and I've used this same fisheye for the last few years, and it has it's fucked, and I'm about to get a new one because this thing has been smashed into walls, it's been kicked, it's been punched, it's been dropped, and it's pretty beat up right now. So I do like filming really close with this thing without the fear of it getting kicked, because even if it does get kicked, I don't care, because these lenses are pretty cheap and I think they look pretty good for what I'm using them for. So. Another thing with this camera is that this thing can take a beating, and I've literally smashed this thing into the ground very recently. One of our last days of filming for this video, I pretty much like ended up kind of doing one of these into the ground, and you'll see. Lost use of one of the sensors at one point, I think, and the whole thing turned yellow, like neon yellow. Ended up coming back to life. I'm still using it.
Yeah, right?
Works for me, man. I'm just gonna keep using it until this thing dies. Yeah, but got some good like Gorilla Tape holding it together. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. If you're filming long lens and you're zooming and you're rolling, don't use the eyepiece. Just use the LCD, because you're a lot safer that way, and you're probably not going to smash your camera. Recent upgrade, or just, I don't know if it's an upgrade, but different camera, different strokes for different folks, different cameras for different projects, you know? And so I bought the C100 because it was a cheap way to get a cinematic look, but still have things like professional audio, and most importantly, an EVF. Like, I love filming handheld like this. Not when I'm rolling. Yeah, I think the form factor of this camera is really good. I knew I wanted to use it to film skating, so I didn't want something like much bigger than this, and with that's, I mean, this is already like pretty modular as it is, but like even some of the newer versions of this, like even like the LCD screen is like sitting on top, and you have to like, there's different like brackets you got to put, like, again, the overarching theme of all of this is just to try to condense my like camera package down to something that I can fit on my back and fit into a bag. So like this thing is it's really fun to use. It's not my favorite camera for filming skating, but it definitely has a time and a place. I filmed all of the Church of Leon with this camera. I just have like the standard like 24 to 105 like f4 lens on here. I got a little nifty 50 1.4 for some low light stuff, and I also have a fisheye for it, which is a Peleng 8mm fisheye, which is pretty awesome. This thing's pretty wide and fairly inexpensive. I definitely recommend it. I use this. This is a fish I use for the Church of Leon, and I think I got some really cool results with this lens. But yeah, this camera's cool. Got again lots of fuzzy bits on here. I have them on here too because when I'm filming fisheye, I can't use the shotgun mic, so I just want to make sure I got some like windscreen protection for any shots where I'm rolling or anything along those lines. We filmed a lot of stuff in nights and weekends with this camera. Surprisingly, they play together pretty well. Like these two things, like it's much different look, but like I feel like if you use it right and like you cut things together in a certain way, like you don't really care that they look that much different because like this stuff is for this and then this stuff is for that, you know. But once you kind of like let them flow all in and out of each other, it kind of works pretty cool. So that's the cameras. The next thing is filming at night. So HPX isn't terribly good at filming at night. A big thing that I would see in a lot of skate videos that would kind of like, I don't want to say it would bother me, but I just knew that I didn't want my videos to look like that, was that there'd be kind of like spotting when you'd see fisheye shots filmed at night, because there's just kind of like one small LED light that's really not meant to cover such like a wide area. Again, like a big solution to this would just be using big lights like this and lighting a whole spot, and then you don't have to deal with that. But we're biking and skating to almost all of our spots. Got to make my like lighting setup as small as possible and try to cover as wide of an area as possible. What I do is I got like this flat kind of cold shoe mounting bracket that I just slide onto the shoe mount. These things, I just found the cheapest thing that I could find on Amazon, okay? And that's what this is. And just the way this camera gets hit, I had a feeling I would have some lights that got hit as well. The big thing with this one is that I had a quarter 20 tap down at the bottom, because a lot of these cheap lights don't have that. And the reason I wanted that is so I could buy these Manfrotto like 492 LCD. They're really monitor mounts, I'm pretty sure, but I use them to hold my camera lights. So the reason I want this is because they can articulate, and what I do is that I slide them underneath here, and they're tough as shit too. I can like whip the camera around and this thing is not moving at all. I put one on each side like so. So now I have them like vertically oriented, panned out a tiny bit, and they're gonna throw enough light to hit the center and light it pretty good, and then they're gonna hit the outside of like the fisheye, basically on the edges. Still a tiny bit of spotting with this setup, but it's pretty good. And then like I can brighten them up or I can dim them down. By doing this, like I used to have it like vertically oriented, and when I realized like that this could be an option, I realized how much better it is, because it takes the center of gravity of the camera. Instead of adding this bit up here and turning the center of gravity basically like to here, the center of gravity is much closer to the center of the lens when you undersling them like this. So I can feel like I can just like throw the camera around as I need to, in a very solid way without like having some weird top heavy thing going on. All right, so the next thing I use, this basically would be more of like a fill light, okay? Like if this is a key, I need a fill. So that's where I would use something like this to light a spot, basically, so you can actually see the background a little bit better and you're not relying on the practicals that are in the area. So again, the theme of this whole thing is that I need to be able to fit all of this stuff into a backpack, okay? So that brings me to this light. It's an Aperture, again, another Amazon, I don't know, small little LED light that I can put into like kind of the laptop portion of my camera bag. Fits nicely in there, runs off of a couple like knockoff Sony batteries. It's good. It lights the spot pretty nice. I like it. I dig it. So where do you put this? Okay, so that's depending on the situation. Am I riding bikes? Am I skating? Am I skating far? Am I in the neighborhood? Do I have somebody that's willing to help me carry some stuff? I have a few solutions for all of that. The smallest solution for that would just be this guy. So I'll just take this. It's got a little quarter 20 thread. It's got a quarter 20 thread on the bottom. Screw it in. I can wrap it around a tree or mount it to a car. It doesn't matter. Like this thing's awesome. It's not as strong as it used to be. I took it scuba diving one time and was using it as like a little GoPro like hand stick thing. And ever since then, this thing, I feel like legs pop off and shit. This thing's really, it's really beat, but it still works. I still use it every once in a while. If I have a little more support, I might use a light stand. What's cool about it is that the legs, they kind of like go up and then it goes down like that. And so again, this will go in the main bag, and then I strap this to the back, and now I have everything on my back. So the other thing I use is a cardellini, or in this case is a Mathelini, because Matthews makes it. Similar concept to the Gorilla Grip thing, but this is like really hardcore, like, but this thing's awesome because like I can really just clamp it anywhere. Like I'll just use this C-stand. Okay, so I'll take this and say, again, this could have been anything. This could have been a bike rack, a tree, like a mailbox, like a fire escape or something like that, or like some, like, you know, a lot of, in Brooklyn, like a lot of the trains run above ground and you got these big like I-beam sort of things, and I might just like climb up and I'll take this clamp it like this so it's tight. That's gonna slide right on like that. So now you can do this, and now this is very solid. You know, again, like I might be far away filming.
Pappy, shut up.
Pappy might be barking. So yeah, I might be far away filming, and I just need to make sure that like a gust isn't gonna come by and knock this thing down. And when I have it on this setup, I'm pretty confident that that's not going to happen. You know, light it, beam the lens. This is a lot less interesting than I thought it was going to be. All right, so I guess like the next step would just be to like pack the bag and just see how this all is going to fit in. So I use a Tamrac camera bag. I don't even know what line this is. Let's start loading her up. Okay, so first things first. This, a couple batteries, a couple lights. I'm going to take the batteries off, fit them. Take these little bits that, these little batteries that charge it. I'm gonna put them up here. Definitely gonna make sure I have the dice with me in case the game of threes needs to break out. Here's the flat bracket. This is gonna be for this. We're gonna, vice grip, you need the vice grip, or else you are going to be kicking yourself when your lights are moving all over the place on you. Take this, use this. Take the cardellini, throw it in, fits nicely. Throw that in, fits nicely. Bracket, fits nicely. Or I could just pop it in up there, either way. Might throw a cloth in here just to deaden all this stuff. Might throw some of my tungsten gel guys. I don't know, really anywhere, it doesn't matter. I even have extra room to spare in case I need to throw just really anything. Wax, I don't know, anything you might need to throw in there. Or get a little extra room, pop this guy in here and have an extra light, or pop it up front, have an extra light. So it's all in. Like, weighs a shit ton, but you know, you're rolling around on a bike, that'll be all right. If you're rolling around the streets on skates, maybe, hopefully you either have big wheels or you aren't going too far. But yeah, that's my camera bag, and I hope this was useful to someone out there. I don't know.
Well, that's Mike's camera gear. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it gave you guys some insight, some knowledge, maybe gave you some considerations for things. I don't know. Again, check out Nights and Weekends. Mike, thank you so much for doing this. Hope to do more of these with some other cinematographers that I really admire and aspire to. And if you liked this video, please hit subscribe, and we'll be back again soon. Bye.